Gentlemen, my name is Warren. I'm a member of the historic Florida Militia, the 1740 Spanish garrison. We are a civic organization dedicated to helping St. Johns County, its Tourist Development Commission, the Tourist and Convention Bureau, and the San Marcos, part of your National Park Service, preserve the colonial Spanish heritage of Florida. I welcome you to the oldest city in America, where American history begins. And I hope you all survived the storm, and I thank you for coming. Tonight, we're helping commemorate the great 1740 siege. Please, we ask everybody stay on the sidewalk, as these gentlemen do have real guns and gunpowder. Sargento, Cargan. First step, the gentlemen are going to load. Then he'll post them as if this was the actual guard duty of that time. It'll be done in Spanish. I will try to translate as we go. 1740, there was a war raging in Europe. The War of Austrian Secession. Here we call it the War of Jenkins here. We are waiting for siege from Governor Oglethorpe from the north. Lead it! About face. Right hand to the weapon. Bring the gun down to your right side. Put it into half cock for safety. Clean out the flint of the gun wheel on fire. Blow out the pan or you'll end up with sparks and a bad day. Get your cartridge box, take out a cartridge. The cartridge is a paper. You notice they open it with their teeth, so kids, if you want to be in the infantry, floss every day. Pour a little of the powder into the pan. Close the pan. Pass the gun to your left side. Put the cartridge into the gun. Take out the rammer. This is a step-by-step approach. It's a training drill. Alter the direction of the rammer. Shorten the rammer. Ram the cartridge home. Take out the rammer. Change the direction of the rammer. Shorten the rammer. Put the rammer away. Unlike Hollywood, without your rammer, the gun is useless. Shoulder arms. Post your troops. This is what it takes to fire a single shot in 1740. In an actual battle, once the men are trained, all the sergeant has to yell is target, load. The weapons that men are carrying are smoothbore flintlock muskets. Some of them are actual copies of Spanish guns that were here. Flintlock. Everybody see the cigarette lighter? Flint and steel. Piece of flint strikes the steel, makes a spark. That powder they put in the pan hopefully goes poof, and hopefully after that, the flame goes into the barrel, sending off the charge. Now, these guns are smoothbore. Means they have no rifling. Without rifling, you have no accuracy. Its accuracy is reasonable up to about 50 yards. Beyond that, you have no idea where the ball is going. To compensate, the men line up shoulder to shoulder. Everybody lowers their gun at once. Everybody fires at once. Hopefully, in falling fire, somebody will hit something on the other side. It may not be where you're pointing the gun. Now, some people will say, well, they're rifles, absolutely. Rifles took 2 to 3 minutes to load, accurate to 300 yards. A good soldier like Alex, in that same 2 minutes, could get off 8, maybe 12 shots. You do the math. 1 shot to the rifle and 12 shots to the soldier who's going to win. The military actually decided for the speed. Some had rifle corps, the speed was most important. They often stood in multiple ranks. One rank fired, the next rank moves forward while the previous rank loaded. Now, 1740 was an interesting time. It's a time of a world war. There's a major change in Austria. England wants what Spain has in the New World. It's got multiple names. The war de Asiento, which means a contract. The war Jenkins ear, strange name, but there was a Captain Jenkins who was found by our Coast Guard to be violating his contract. So they cut off his ear and said, bring this back to your king, because obviously he can't hear well, here's an extra ear. Parliament became inflamed and helped bring on the war. Well, they wanted everything we had, which was all the gold and everything else the Spanish were bringing in. We were a small sideline, but our little town of St. Augustine is very important. It's the middle of nowhere. It's the end of the empire, but we control something very important. Ponce did not find Florida. It was found by somebody else. You knew it was here. But what nobody knew was here was the Gulf Stream. Ponce found the Gulf Stream. With the Gulf Stream, you found the main highway home to Europe. A ship that does, at best, 6 knots, gets on the Gulf Stream, does another 3.5 to 4 knots. It almost doubles your speed. Takes it to Bermuda, pick up prevailing westerlies, and drives you home to Europe. If you control the Gulf Stream, you control trade. And that's why England wanted this. We were the controlling linchpin. If St. Augustine fell, the Gulf Stream fell. We were besieged for over a month. Although it was over a year before that, when Oglethorpe was making soaring into Florida, seizing our cattle, our ranches, and everything else. The governor had ordered that the gates be closed at night and a guard be posted. That guard would be changed on a regular basis, depending on the duty officer. And a formal ceremony is held. At the end of that posting, the men were required to discharge their guns. You're not allowed to be in town with a loaded weapon. So we will be firing a salute to you at the end, which is why we would like you to stay on the sidewalk. Our sergeant will let you know when it is safe. Now, our clothing is Spanish. It's Spanish military of that period. It's French. Our king is Philip V. He is Philippe d'Anjou. He is the grandson of the Sun King Louis XIV. He brings French custom and style with him. Alex is wearing, like me, straight line shoes, no right, no left. He needs to switch them. Knee socks. Louis thought showing off gentlemen your calves was very sexy. So the knee sock came in. On top of that is breeches. Underneath that, we have a linen shirt or a cotton shirt. Your shirt will go down below your knees. It is your pajamas. During the daytime, you pull the ends together, it becomes your underwear. And as you would never be running around in your pajamas or underwear outside, on top of that, you have more breeches and a waistcoat or vest, long sleeve or short sleeve. And on top of that, we have a red coat, French style. Our hat, by the way, kids, is not a pirate hat. It is a French-style hat. It's called the tricorn. It first started with cocked up one side because you threw a musket on a round hat, you knock it off. Try the other off, slowly you knocked it off again. So the French said, that's cool, cocked up all 3 sides. It has no functional value. It not keep the sun off. It's great while it's called the rainstorm. Doesn't keep the rain off your head. But it was style. And gentlemen, in that era, you were very conscious of style. Let's go over the window. You know he's Spanish by this red cockade on his hat. That is the color of Spain. If it was white, it would be French. Black is English. Light blue is German. Green was Italian. And orange is actually the House of Orange. Now the relief is coming in. You will notice they're carrying a white flag with a red cross on it. If you look very carefully, that is a very common cross. It's the flag of the state of Florida. It's the Burgundian flag. It's the flag of Burgundy. It was adopted as the flag of Philip I, who married Isabella's daughter. He brings that as the Duke of Burgundy, and the Spanish military adopt his flag as the nation's unofficial flag. This stays with them through most of the 18th century. It is the Cross of St. Andrews. You'll see it again on the Florida state flag, English flag, Scottish, Cross of St. Andrews is very commonly used. They didn't have traffic light problems then. It wasn't until well after the death of Carlos III that Spain actually gets a formal official flag. Now once they come in, they will line up. There'll be an inspection of the troops. That's what happened. They'll be the hands of the sergeants. And then the soldiers will be relieved and fire the muskets. They'll go through the firing drill, and again stay on that piece, stay on that side until they're done.
Best I could come up with tonight. My other sergeant isn't here, so I had to take over for him. So, I think we could check our orders, and then we can do a little inspection. Upon written orders from the officer of the day, I am to relieve your squadra and to remain on post until relieved. What are your orders?
My orders are to man this post until relieved, to prevent entry into the palace, and to provide escort to the governor and his command.
I relieve you until I am relieved. I will prevent entry into the palace, and I will provide escort to the governor and his command. Squadra, armas al hombro. La mano derecha las armas. Presenten las armas.
Come on. Okay. This uniform and otherwise, very good.
Well, see some of the men have the new muskets as they're coming in.
It's starting to. Bravo, armas al hombro. A la derecha, media, vote.
Captains of the Army is now going to approach the troops. You know, he and I are wearing uniform and gold trim. That's the way you know we're awesome. This is the 4J, that metal plate around his neck is symbolic to his job. Unlike modern military, we don't have a particular rank that comes with separate. Ours has 2 bars of foot, sergeant of our corporal, and nothing private. But you won't roll, that's how you do anything. Every box you do, you are just so wrong. And we'll show you it. Because things was blue back then, it's not in your hat. Your hand, black powder, your hat.
Soldados, la mano derecha las armas. Descansen sobre las armas.
at ease. Colonial, Augustine. Hey, what about you?
Cover your ears!
Charging low. Many soldiers were literate. They taught them the step-by-step drill. They respect to know it, Spain had a phenomenal good army. One of the finest people in the country. Once they learn that drill, that's the target, they come to control their arms, and once they're ready to control their arms, they go to the fire. Now we've done two-minute fire, and we're playing the scale. About 30% of the time, they fire on a bomb.
Cover your ears! Cover your ears!
You have to have good weather to have war. Sometimes I follow that. You all heard Colonel Flash the man. Fire when he's done. The man goes off and comes out and the fire the man. Let's go. You fire that gun. Be warned. It's on fire.
Thank you very much for this wonderful event.
Well, thank you, Stace.
You're welcome.
Hi, Stace. Hi.
If you'd like to get in a photo, just step in.
Oh, I can a little selfie action.
Selfies.
I can get my phone to selfie.
You a Cubs fan?
I am a Cubs fan.
all right.
I do it for the kids. All right, come here.
Thanks for joining us, folks.
Give me one of them.
Good to see you. Sure.
Thank you, sir. That was fun. Thank you.
Philip, can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me ask that question.
Stace.
Timer. Okay.
How often do you do this reenactment?
Well, we try to do it at least once a month. We'll do a changing of the guard once a month. Sometimes we'll do a saunter we'll usually do a saunter once a month, which is a totally different event.
Tell me about the saunter.
Saunter is
And there was a
timeline.
We were actually putting around down range.
Like a timeline promenade. People get dressed up in the time period they're most comfortable in. Historic to St. Augustine, though. So we'll do some from 1565. We'll do 16th century, 17th century, and 18th century clothing, and we just walk around downtown St. Augustine and stop for photographs and just explain the history of the town to whoever's interested in learning.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great opportunity for people to learn more about the history of
Our
St.
next
Augustine.
saunter is September 30th, next weekend.
Oh, September 30th?
And then
that's-
there will be one October 7th.
So the 30th is a Saturday.
Yes,
And what time does that start?
that starts at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
And we usually saunter till about 8:30.
And where do you start?
We start at the Spanish Bakery. We line up there at 5:30.
Okay.
So we talk to people up there, and then we march to the city gates, and then we just saunter down. We stop along the way, talk to people about the history of St. Augustine, and then we wind up here in the park. Sometimes we'll go to Avila Street and talk to whoever wants to talk to us or take pictures with whoever needs to take pictures.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's fun because people don't realize at different times how early St. Augustine was founded. I mean, people hear that St. Augustine is the oldest city, but they don't know how it got that title. So that's what we're trying to tell people. St. Augustine is probably the only place in the country where you could actually have a Ren fair and be period correct. We have people dressed in Renaissance clothing. We have people dressed in 17th century, 18th century. It's a lot of fun, and people the tourists just seem to enjoy it a lot. It's good.
Well, and the locals do too. I'm a local and I
There you go.
absolutely love it. So I can't thank you guys enough for doing this. It's all volunteer, I know that, and you put a lot of time and energy into it, and we really appreciate it because it's something that you can't find elsewhere.
No,
you just can't. It's very
this is the
unique.
only place. St. Augustine's the only place where you could do 16th century reenactments and be period correct. It's great.
Exactly.
And as you can see, we're open for business, guys. We're here. It's
Come
fun.
on down. Exactly. What was the event you told me after the saunter? You said there was another.
October 7th is another saunter, but that is going to be a later time period. That's going to tie in with the Downton Abbey events that they're having in St. Augustine. So
Wonderful.
we will be dressed in Victorian clothing all the way up to the flag wearer.
Oh, how beautiful.
So that's a little different than what we usually do. So we're hoping a lot of people come out for that and actually see us on the streets.
So, do you know the dates for Downton Abbey at the Lightner? I don't know them off the top of my head.
I know they begin the first weekend in October. There's a tea. I'm not sure what day the tea is. That's early in the afternoon. And then there's the event at the Lightner that's being publicized.
Exactly. So if someone went to lightnermuseum.com, they'd find out all about the Downton Abbey and
Historic
Historic Coast.
Historic City News.
Exactly. Well, FloridaHistoricCoast.com. We have it there as well. Yep. Exactly. So I cannot wait to see all of you in your Victorian outfits. Those will be beautiful.
Well, we're actually going to we're going to be more of the Gatsby era when we do it. We're gonna
Oh,
be in the
that's
1920s.
exciting too. Are you going to be like a flapper then?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to be.
Oh, wonderful. That's exciting.
So we're actually going to be from the start with the flag era and go up just around to the end of Prohibition. That's the time period we're going to concentrate on. So the 1880s, 1890s to the 1930s.
Wonderful.
And then our next saunter will be the third weekend in October. We usually do them on the fourth weekend, but that in October it will be the third weekend, but then from then on it will be the fourth weekend of every month we do the saunter. But they're, the changing of the guard. But they are also publicized on the First Coast and actually on the St. Augustine website.
Exactly.
St. Augustine Garrison like the St. Augustine Garrison on Facebook. A lot of information we put out, everything that's going on in town, what the reenactors do.
Yep, and I know we have them all listed on FloridaHistoricCoast.com as well under our events calendar. So
Go
we're
to
there.
hfm.club, and that tells you all the events
We have a
do
big
all
calendar
year
of
long.
events.
And you guys are covered all the different agencies and
Try to.
websites have you.
We try to cover every time period.
Yep. Well, you do a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions out there that you might want to ask? I know someone asked about the hurricane and how things are, and things are great. the downtown area has recovered very quickly and very nicely. And so if you're thinking about visiting, please come down.
Most people won't even notice that we had one.
Exactly. You wouldn't know. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. If there's questions later on, I'll go back into the feed and answer them as best I can. Bob and Rhea, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
See you next time.
Yep.